Hello, this is my presentation regarding cannibalism in the poultry industry for the ANSI 345 Animal Health Management course. Poultry cannibalism is considered a major welfare, profit, and sustainability issue for many producers as it leads to a reduced value in injured birds and a significant increase in mortality if not handled properly. Because of these implications, numerous studies have been conducted to implement methods to reduce and control cannibalistic incidences within flocks. It is important to note that cannibalism can occur among birds of any strain, breed, or age within all variants of housing systems, including cages, aviaries, and cage-free options. Because chickens maintain a pecking order, moderate amounts of pecking within flocks is acceptable, but this often leads to cannibalism, where pecking, tearing, and ingestion of tissue from another chicken within the flock is observed. During these instances, the toe, tail, and vent area are increasingly targeted. Because chickens usually act as a group, once cannibalistic issues begin, it becomes a behavior that is soon learned by the other flock mates, causing a sudden and drastic increase in mortality if not thoroughly monitored. Because cannibalism can quickly take over a flock, it is crucial to focus on prevention rather than control and treatment. Although genetics play a minor role in feather pecking and cannibalism, certain environmental and housing factors are major contributing factors that should be addressed before cannibalism can get out of hand. Although the specific etiology of poultry cannibalism is unknown, it is certain that a combination of genetic, environmental, and management factors work concurrently to contribute to this condition within a flock. Genetically, it is known that slow-feathering bird strains, especially those genetically selected for meat production, have higher rates of cannibalism due to the extended presence of fragile, undeveloped feathers that leave bare skin exposed and susceptible to pecking injuries. Studies have also shown that birds that weigh less are more likely to commit acts of cannibalism, possibly from the lack of nutrients such as methionine, sodium, and phosphorus. Because of feathering, size, color, and temperament variations within different strains, breeds, and age of groups in chickens, it is never recommended to have a mixed flock. These differences can cause turmoil in the established pecking order and quickly instigate feather pecking and subsequent cannibalism from curiosity. Amongst other factors at play, housing and environmental variables are proven to be major causes of cannibalism. Most notably, overcrowding and lack of adequate floor space is known to cause competition for resources such as feed, water, perch, and nesting space, which can quickly lead to aggressive feather pecking and cannibalistic tendencies. Management decisions like excessive heat, lighting, and presence of floor eggs are also known contributing factors to cannibalism. Extreme heat and light causes increased uncomfortability within the flock, causing aggressive behaviors. Bright lighting is especially detrimental to nesting boxes, triggering vent pecking and aggressive behaviors if not addressed soon. These factors can quickly be fixed, but if not addressed in a timely manner, they can increase the stress load within the flock and rapidly develop into cannibalism. Allowing injured or dead birds to remain in the flock is also an issue because once one chicken begins to peck, the others quickly follow suit. Due to curiosity and their fascination to the color red, injured birds with visible blood on their coat quickly become targeted to feather pecking and cannibalism, which often triggers neighboring chickens to contribute to this habit as well. Because of this, it is important to ensure that injury risks associated with housing are minimalized, such as fixing exposed metal wires on cages and gates. Prolapses, a common issue with laying hens, causes the uterus to be exposed via the cochlear opening, also causing neighboring hens to peck out of curiosity. Once again, this often leads to bleeding, which only makes the pecking and cannibalistic tendencies worse. Floor eggs, also a common issue with laying hens in cage-free environments, also piques their curiosity, as chickens are known to enjoy eating their own eggs, causing a pecking problem that can transgress into cannibalism as well. Because feather pecking and some feather loss is considered normal within large flocks, it is often difficult for producers to notice the clinical signs of aggressive feather pecking leading up to cannibalism. Also, because dead birds are already subjected to feather pecking and consumption after not being immediately removed from the flock, it is hard to definitely confirm mortalities from cannibalism. Despite this, there are some clear indicators that producers can look out for when cannibalism is suspected. First, an increase in aggressive feather pecking and other combative behaviors may be observed, which could contribute to a sudden increase in mortality if not addressed soon. When looking at individual birds from the flock, abnormal skin lesions may be presented as injured, red, or swollen skin. In severe cases, blood from the injury is also noticeable, causing further targeting from other flockmates and most possibly cannibalism due to their attraction to the color red. An excessive amount of missing feathers and exposure to bare skin is also a hallmark sign of cannibalism and aggressive feather pecking in poultry flocks. Commonly targeted areas for feather pecking include the tail, vent, head, or back region, which may be hard for producers to notice in large-scale operations. In commercial white leghorns, bloody feathers from cannibalism is easily noticeable to both the producer and other flockmates, so it is crucial to separate victims of aggressive feather pecking to avoid possible death. It is always better to prevent cannibalism rather than controlling it because it soon turns into a whole flock issue. When cannibalistic tendencies are already present, there are many ways to address the contributing factors at hand. If applicable, it is always recommended to separate birds that are identified to have issues with feather pecking from the rest of the flock to prevent further damage. Removing injured birds and obvious victims of feather pecking or cannibalism, especially if they are actively bleeding, is important to provide adequate care or euthanize in severe cases. There are also countless management decisions that can be done to alleviate persistent cannibalism within a flock. First, it is recommended to reduce the temperature to 70 degrees Fahrenheit and lighting intensity to 0.5 to 1 foot candles to help minimize aggressive behaviors. It is also highly recommended to implement more enrichment objects such as perches, nesting box, and scratch pads to allow for the birds to practice natural behaviors and reduce aggression. Perches enable the bird to seek higher ground and avoid pecking, and forage-related objects and the presence of litter are proven to reduce feather pecking amongst flocks by giving the chickens something else to peck at. Also, to reduce aggression from resource competition, it is recommended to allow for adequate floor space per bird and increase the number of water and feed space. Chicken stocking density guidelines are usually recommended that producers allow for 1/4 square foot of open area per bird for the first 2 weeks, 3/4 square foot per bird for the first 3 to 8 weeks, 1.5 square foot from 8 to 16 weeks, and 2 foot from 16 weeks of age and on. Many methods used to control cannibalistic tendencies, such as increased space, resources, and enrichment, can also be used to prevent aggressive buildup and cannibalism in the first place. Although there is no guarantee that utilizing these techniques will be complete in eradicating or preventing cannibalism throughout the entire flock, it is extremely easier to implement these management and housing practices rather than trying to reverse aggressive behavior after it spreads. Although beak trimming has been banned in the UK since the beginning of 2011, it is still a very common preventative measure done by the majority of commercial chickens in the United States. Beak trimming is recommended to be performed by a trained professional within 7 to 10 days of age, but it has been increasingly viewed as controversial, with studies proving it can induce chronic pain and stress, as well as possibly impairing birds' ability to eat normally and exhibit natural behaviors within their environment. There are also beak blinders, also called peepers, that can be bought in bulk and clipped or fitted onto the beak to block forward vision and effectively prevent them from pecking anything that is directly in front of them at eye level. While a bird can still eat and drink normally, it is an effective way to prevent chickens from feather pecking and cannibalism. Another suggested way to prevent cannibalism is to use a mash diet rather than pellets. By using a mash diet, this allows the bird to exhibit their natural foraging behaviors and take them a longer time to consume. Because of this, the chickens are less likely to act in an aggressive manner and attack their other flockmates. It has also been proven that the utilization of red lights in hen housing reduces the rate of severe feather pecking. Because chickens are known to be attracted to the blood in the color red, the light also works well at masking any blood on other flockmates and preventing an attack. In conclusion, cannibalism, characterized by skin lesions and excessive feather pecking, is an extreme issue for producers concerning profit losses and welfare concerns from consumers. Although feather pecking is common to maintain the flock's pecking order, it can suddenly turn fatal when aggressive feather pecking behaviors and housing problems are not addressed in a timely manner. Cannibalism is a learned behavior that will quickly spread throughout the entire flock, causing sharp increases in mortality rate if not prevented or controlled. Because of this, it is recommended to provide adequate space, lighting, enrichment, and nutrition to the flock, as well as quickly separating any aggressive or injured birds from the rest of the population. For preventative measures, beak trimming and beak blinders can also be utilized. In summary, each flock of birds are different, but cannibalism can affect any flock. As a producer or backyard flock owner, it is crucial to remain educated on this subject as well as the contributing factors to prevent it from overtaking your flock. And here are my resources.